Hello friends, it's Lauren here at Craft Some Joy, and I'm so glad to have you here on my channel. Let's take a look today at the brand new photo trimmer from Creative Memories. Okay, so already you can see that the new photo trimmer is much larger than the original photo trimmer. And once I unbox it, you can also get a closer look at just about the size difference. But not only is the platform of the trimmer larger, but if you notice, it's also lower. It's a lower profile. And I actually do like that it sits a little closer to my workspace. Now let's take a closer look at the details of both of these trimmers. So our original format photo trimmer from Creative Memories, you can see it has a cutting surface that you can use with the custom cutting system, and it has a drawer. Now these are the two main features that I would have to say are not included in the new photo trimmer. And honestly, I didn't use these two features that often. So now let's take a closer look at the features of the new Creative Memories photo trimmer. And the first thing that I noticed, which I was so excited about, was that the platform went up not only to 6 inches, but all the way to 6.5 inches. So can you see? It's already printed right here on the platform, that 6.5 inch line. Not only did they include that on the actual base of the trimmer, but they also put in this really cute little arm that swings out, which allows you to cut all the way up to 10.5 inches. So that just increased the possibility of this trimmer so much. So not only does it have this cute little arm that swings out to give you more flexibility, but it also has some really common sizes that we use printed right on the base. And to me, I absolutely love that. I love having a thick line as a guide for when I'm cutting those photos and paper, which we all know we cut 3x3, 4x4, 4x6, 4.5x6.5. Hello, photo mats, and the 5x7. So those are some really nice features here, as well as they gave us a 45-degree angle, which is just perfect for cutting chevrons and banner ends. I love that. And another feature that they've added to this trimmer versus our previous trimmer is that they have this nice ledge both on the top. We always had our ledge on the top, but they also added this ledge on the bottom, just like with our 12-inch trimmer. And I'll show you how I use that in just a minute. Now let's just get into a little bit of the mechanics of this trimmer, and you'll see that the arm actually has resistance. Unlike our previous trimmer where there really isn't resistance, and we were always taught if you want a perfectly straight cut with the personal trimmer to kind of push in as you're pushing down so that those blades make contact with the smaller trimmer. You don't have to do that with this trimmer because the arm is actually spring loaded. And so there's already contact between the two blades from the beginning. So there's no need to push in or do anything. You just bring that arm down and you're going to have a nice cut. The other feature that I noticed is that the plastic holders are different as well. This one had kind of a hard plastic holder. The new trimmer, the plastic seems a little more flexible, which I do like because sometimes we have to lift this up to get things in and out, especially if you're cutting smaller pieces with your trimmer. And the plastic extends all the way down, so you have a nice platform which to hold your paper. Another feature that I recognized is just how easy it is to pick this trimmer up and move it. And with my small trimmer, I would always try to find that little finger hole on the side in order to pick it up and move it. I've noticed with the new trimmer, you can just grab it pretty much anywhere along the side because your fingers can fit nicely underneath. So it is very easy just to grab and pick up and move. Now let's talk about a few other features that this new trimmer offers. And one of them is that this trimmer nests on top of our 12-inch trimmer. So you need to flip your trimmer around, and then you'll notice that it just kind of slides right into place on top of the 12-inch trimmer. And that gives such a nice profile when you do need to take this trimmer with you and travel with it, or even just for storage. You can see how nicely those nest together. I love space-saving technique. So this was a huge aha moment for me when I saw the trimmer. And such great design. Now on the back are some more hidden features, just like we have on our 12-inch trimmer, where we can store a replacement mat strip as well as all of our blades. On the back side of the photo trimmer, we have a place for 2 pairs of scissors. Okay, so this is really kind of fun. On the back, they've built in these 2 little cubbies for both our blue handle scissors and the precision tip scissors. Now, I have tried to get these in and out several times, and once they're in, they are securely in the trimmer. So what I've noticed is for the blue handle scissors, there's this little lever up here on the top. And if you just pull that back out of the way, it's a little easier to grab your scissors out of that cubby. Like I said, they're secure. And same with the precision tip. All you need to do is kind of grab the handle, and those scissors will come out of there as well. So to put them back in, you can just take your scissors, pop them in there. Again, you hear that snap, very secure. And the same with the blue handle scissors. You want to kind of angle them so it goes under this little ledge, and then you will hear that snap into place as well. So my thought on having these as places to hold my scissors, that's not something I would want to do all the time to get to my scissors, but it is a great place to store my scissors, especially if I need to travel. So I did go ahead and purchase just an extra set of each of the scissors, so I can keep one on my craft cart and one tucked into my trimmer. So now let's take this trimmer out for a test drive and actually use it to cut. And what I want to do is show you how it cuts a lot of different materials. So what I have pulled out, of course, are photos, because this is the primary use I know I will be using this trimmer for, is for cutting photos. But I also have vellum, I have some shimmer paper, I have designer paper, I also have cardstock and our double-sided cardstock, just to see how well that will cut. And then I even pulled in, I have some really heavyweight 110-pound paper. So let's see how this trimmer does with all these different materials as we go through and cut some different things. So let's first start by cutting some vellum and see how well it does with a super thin, lightweight paper. Now, it is important to always use your holder so that you keep whatever it is in your trimmer steady and it doesn't move or shift while you're bringing the arm down. So, wow, it cut that vellum just beautifully. There's no ragged edges or anything. So now let's turn that and cut it at 7 inches. So, because I want to make this a 5x7. So I'm going to pull out my little arm, and it's as simple as now moving that over to the 7 inches, and I have a perfect 5x7 rectangle. Cuts vellum just beautifully. Let's try some shimmer paper. This is red firecracker shimmer paper. So I'm going to line that up right there at 4.5 inches, hold, and just bring it down. Again, you can see that just cuts really beautifully. All right, let's try some designer paper. This is from the This Life collection. I love this tonal paper, so fun. So let's first start with the largest square we can cut with this trimmer. So as you can see, this paper barely slides in, which means it is actually 9 inches top to bottom. And you can see the grid goes up to 8 inches, but this last bit here is 1 additional inch. So the largest square we can make is a 9 by 9. So we can put that at the 9-inch mark on the arm and then just bring that trimmer handle down. And what I love is that the blade goes all the way to the bottom. So I got a nice clean cut all the way, the full 9 inches. So that's a 9 by 9 square. Now, I also was curious what the smallest little square I could cut would be. And it turns out a 1-inch square is pretty much as small as I would go with this trimmer. So I'm going to move my paper over to the 1-inch line, and you're going to see through this holder, and it's nice and clear so you can see through it. And then I'm just going to hold my paper, and then I'm going to turn. And again, I'm going to line it all the way up at the top at that 1-inch line, okay? And then bring the handle down. So this is where that flexibility comes in, because now I need to get that little piece out of my trimmer. But you can see it makes a perfect little 1 by 1 square. Now, I mentioned I wanted to share what I love using this ledge at the bottom for. And whenever you need to fold a scrap of paper, this is perfect for kind of holding your paper in place so you get a nice even fold with your paper. Now, why would you need to fold your paper? Well, let's use that 45-degree angle. So the banner cut, you would just simply move the edge of the paper along that 45-degree line until you get to the edge. Make sure your paper is still lined up, hold, and cut. And now you have a beautiful banner cut paper. If you'd like to make chevrons, this is where we're going to continue moving our paper along that 45-degree angle and just make some chevrons. So I'm going to go ahead and line this end up along a grid line and then give it a quick trim. And then now I can make precise chevrons just by moving my paper up 1 notch. So this is going to give me 1/4-inch chevrons, just like that. And I'm going to move it up 1 more. Again, make sure I'm back on that 45. And you can see I have some beautiful little 1/4-inch chevrons that I can add to my projects. Now, in addition to 1/4-inch, you can make actually whatever size chevron you want just by moving your paper. So if I want to do 1/2-inch chevrons, I'm just going to move it 2 lines up every time. I'm going to go up 2 more and then just give that a cut. And now I have 1/2-inch chevrons, which are just so fun, and you can even mix and match your small and your large. And how fun is that to add to your projects? Okay, so let's continue doing a little more test cutting. And now I've got the new Creative Memories bright white cardstock, and let's see how well it cuts cardstock, because I've only cut thinner paper up until now. So I'm going to move this over and let's cut a 6 by 6 square. So I'm going to move this to the 6-inch mark. Nice, no problem. And then I'm going to turn my paper and bring it down. And that is a little harder to push through because that is cardstock that I'm working with now, but it works perfectly. Let's try the heavyweight, really thick cardstock. And I think I'm gonna do a 4 by 4 square with this. No, let me do a 4.5. So I'm gonna do a 4.5 by a 4.5 inch square with this. Yeah, definitely a little harder to push down, but still slices right through it. So there's 4.5 by 4.5 square. Not an issue. Okay, let's try the double-sided paper. So I'm going to slide this paper in, and let's do a 5 by 5. And no problem. So last but not least, let's try it out on some photos. So on this one, it's so nice. I know exactly where that 4 by 4 is going to line up. I'm going to put my photo in there. It cuts perfectly. I'm going to turn it around, and now again using that grid on the base. Turn, and now I know that cut a perfect 4 by 4 square. Pretty easy. All right, here's the tricky one. So here's a couple photos where I printed 2 on a 4 by 6. So I'm going to want to trim off all that white excess. Let's see how well the trimmer does with that. Okay, I'm going to slide my photo in, and I'm just lining the edge of my photo up with the side of the blade to see how close I can get to cutting that white edge off. Okay, so it's doing a pretty good job right there, getting so close. And so now we're really testing how thin and how delicate we can cut pieces of photos apart, and it's doing really well. Okay, this is a thin one here. Let's try that. There we have that, and we have this side here. So you can see I have those photos trimmed down now, and these are all ready to go onto my scrapbook pages. The new photo trimmer handled my photos very well. So if I've convinced you that this is a new must-have for your crafty space, you can find the link to grab one of your own in the description of this video. Just click that little more button. And while you're checking out the trimmer, you might also want to check out the new carrier that is also just released. And they've bundled these 2 items together in a few different ways so that if you'd like to get the carrying case with your trimmer, they're going to give you a special deal on that at Creative Memories. So let's take a look at this bag. They've designed this not only to fit the new photo trimmer, but also your 12-inch trimmer and the decorative trimmer as well, and also a few other little goodies. So now let's nest our 2 trimmers together. So I'm going to turn this upside down and set it on top. And we're going to just slide that right in. Oh my gosh, I love how that just fits so perfectly. If you want to add the decorative trimmer, there is space for that in here as well. Look at all that. I bet you could even find some more goodies to pack in this bag. It's got a top handle, which I was so happy to see. And if you want to travel with it, you can slide it on top of a luggage handle. It has another nice zipper pouch in the back as well. And I think that is where I'm going to keep my strap for now. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you found it helpful, I sure would appreciate a thumbs up. And please consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to teach you more about scrapbooking and paper crafting and organization. Until next time, I hope you take time to craft some joy. Bye for now.